Right, hello lads and lasses, and welcome back to Boys Down Under, where transfer season is well underway and Celtic are becoming the Japanese national team, which I am all bloody for. Before we go any further, however, please remember to like the video and subscribe to the channel. It's the best way to help support the channel grow, and it's the best way to encourage me to keep banging out this amazing content for you all. But without further ado, let's get into it. So, the news broke before the Dundee United game that Celtic are set to finalise the deals for 3 Japanese internationals in January. Now, the footballers in question are Reo Hatate, Daisen Maeda, and then Yosuke Ideguchi. Ideguchi, that's how you say it. Also, Celtic are also, we got news that we're rumoured to be loaning in Austrian midfielder Hans Wolf from Mönchengladbach, I think it is, but that's for tomorrow's video. So remember that. Tomorrow's video, Hans Wolf. Today's video, the J-League sensations. So let's get straight into it. So the first player is Reo Hatate, and it's someone we have covered extensively on this channel. And if you click the link above, then you can go and look at a very in-depth video we did on him earlier this couple of months ago on the channel. But just briefly on Reo, if you can't be bothered to go watch it, he can literally play everywhere. He's preferred in the CDM and the left back spot, but literally he can play everywhere bar goalkeeper on the pitch. And look, I released a video a week ago of how Celtic were set to, finalise a deal for Reo in January and try and get him out of the rest of his contract. Now, we've actually got details regarding this buyout clause I think Celtic are going to try and pursue. So, if you're unaware, however, Reo Hatate is actually contracted to Kawasaki Frontale till the end of the Japanese season. Now, the Japanese season is at the end of January, which is conveniently at the end of the January transfer window for European teams. Now, if Celtic signed him on a pre-contract agreement, he wouldn't be able to join the club till the end of his deal, which is at the end of January. So realistically, he'd miss around 3 or 4 games, plus the whole winter break and winter training camp for Celtic. Now, in light of this, Ange and Celtic have looked at the possibility of buying him out of the last month of his contract so he can join Celtic at the beginning of January unless except for the end of January. Now, it's been reported by various Japanese media outlets that Celtic are going to pay £1 million to buy out the last month of Rio's contract. But then another report came out from the Japanese Times that Kawasaki Frontale have actually scoffed at that offer and want significantly more money if Celtic want to buy him out before the end of his deal, which to me sounds absolutely stupid because he's got a month left and they're not even playing any matches in January, so that's absolutely stupid to me. But look, it poses the question, is it extremely necessary for Celtic to pay out in excess of £1.5 million to sign a player a month early when he's only going to be missing maybe 4 matches and a winter training camp? Now, look, sure we need squad depth, but at the end of the day, I can't really see the Celtic board nor Ange really wanting to fork out that much just to bring a player in a month earlier. And look, we have players returning still, and I don't think it's going to be absolutely crucial for him to miss out on that part of January, because it also gives him extra time to rest up before he does arrive at the club for a very, very important back end of the season. Now, for me personally, I'd say if Kawasaki Frontale were to accept £1 million to buy out Reo for the rest of his contract for that last month, I'd accept that deal. I'd be happy with that deal at £1 million. It's really not much. That's how much we paid for Joe Hart, and look how incredible he is. So I think the barrier is somewhere around. I think if we were paying £2 million or more to try and buy him out for the last month, I think that's a stupid deal. I'll put it out there. I think it's a stupid deal. I think it's much better to save some dosh in that case and let him come at the end of January, save £2 million, and use that on other players who we're going to get into right now. So the second player, and it's another player who we've covered extensively on this channel, and it's one of the most exciting players I think Celtic have been linked to in recent times, and that is Daisen Maeda. If you want to learn a bit more about Daisen, click the link above. I know, I love putting these links above in the videos, and you can go find out a bit more about him. But briefly again, he is a star footballer. He's played under Ange at Yokohama before. He finished this year as equal top goal scorer of the J-League, and he has the capabilities to play striker and winger. Honestly, I don't know what his best position is. Literally, he plays extremely well at both spots. He scores more goals at striker, obviously, but he's still an absolute threat on the wing. Now, he's a player I've been begging to see at Celtic since the rumours started. He reeks of excitement, and I even proposed that he could go on to be even better and even more exciting than Kyogo is for Celtic. Now, in light of, these recent links and rumours to him, I actually watched a couple of Yokohama's last few games. They're under Kevin Muscat at the moment. We don't like Kevin Muscat at all. But nonetheless, watched a couple of his last few games, and he, not because obviously you can go watch the highlights of plays, but to get a sense of how they play in game, it's really eye-opening. And you look at him and you can pose so many similarities to Kyogo in him. He's very good footballer, but he's also very different to Kyogo. I must add that, because honestly, looking at him, he's much more suited to be on the wing than Kyogo is. He has a wider array of skills. He is lightning quick. He is, Days and Maida is very quick. It's pretty scary how quick he is. He's got a really strong finish on him. The movement is impeccable. He tracks back very well. And I think it goes on to show just his all-round footballing game is very refined and very clean. Now, this isn't obviously a scouting video, so we'll get into the nitty-gritty deal, I guess we could say money side of things. And Japanese media outlets have been reporting that Celtic are in the final stages of completing a 6-month loan deal for Daisen and an option to buy in the summer. Now, the option to buy is being reported at around 1.5 to 2 million pounds, and that is a bargain. Hands down, I don't even need to see him play for Celtic to know that is a bargain of a transfer fee. Because, honestly, you look at the way he plays, and look at someone like Jota, who we've got a 6.5 million buyout clause on for. Daisen will make such an impact. Imagine a front three. Well, if you haven't seen Daisen play, you wouldn't be able to understand. But I can imagine a front three of Jota on the left, Daisen and Maida on the right, and then Kyogo up top. And you could even swap Jota and Daisen and Maida, and it would be an absolutely incredible front three lineup. It would be nightmarish for opposition teams. And with a £40 million war chest on the cards for the summer transfer window, I think Celtic are going to be needing it, because all these option to buys are going to stack up at the end of it. You got Cameron Carter-Vickers, Jota, Days and Maida potentially. We could be forking out a bit in summer if we do get that war chest. Now, honestly, looking back at Days, and he will absolutely thrive under Ange's system. Just like Kyogo, he will provide much needed reinforcement as well for this Celtic squad, because right now the Celtic attacking ranks got injuries to deal with. We've got players who are injury prone, we've got players out of form, and it could prove invaluable to have Daisen in the team for the back end of the season. Fresh legs and versatility up front, it will be invaluable to Celtic. And if we win the league this year, he could be a very key role in helping us do so. So look, Days and Maida, he gets the boys down under tick of approval, and honestly, I can't speak much more highly of him. I really want to see him donning the green and white. Now, moving into the third and final player, and its reports have been suggesting that we have actually made an inquiry. Now, it's someone who has been not really subject to any rumours to Celtic beforehand. I hadn't actually even heard of him before these rumours came out, and it's Gamba Osaka midfielder Yosuke Edeguchi. Now, we've never covered this lad before on the channel, so we'll go through a bit about him, because we got to talk about him before we talk about the deal. And he's a central mid CDM type player playing for Gamba Osaka. He's 25 years old, and that means he's entering the prime years of his career. He's made 15 caps for the Japanese international team, scoring twice in those 15 games. Now, fun fact about Yosuke is that he actually he was signed to Leeds in 2018 for the 2018, 2019, 2020 season. And unfortunately, he never made an appearance for the club. Marco Bielsa obviously, didn't really favour him. But he returned to Japan, he returned to Gamba Osaka, and he has made 40 appearances for the club on his second stint with them. Now, a bit about his playing style, and defensively, he's a workhorse, and defensively, he can read the game extremely well. He's also very, very good at his tackles. He can time them extremely well. He's never rash or lazy with them. They're always very purposeful, very strong, and most of the time he wins the ball and wins back possession for his team in the case. So, also, great passing game. I think that goes without saying that a midfielder Celtic are looking at will always have a great passing match. Now, with the rest of these deals, the reports are obviously coming from Japan, and the reports are that Celtic will sign Yasuki in January, and it's being rumoured that it's going to be a permanent deal, straight off the bat, a permanent deal for him, unlike Dias and Maeda, who's going to be coming on a loan. So, it will be certainly interesting to see how he is developed, because as I said earlier, he played for Leeds, was signed for Leeds, but never really cut it out in the English Championship. So obviously he was loaned out every season and then returned to Japan. So it will be interesting to see how he took that experience and how he's developed from it and taken it as a learning curve, because he's going to have to adapt straight into Scottish football, because I can see him starting for Celtic. I can see him being a player to give, a player like Turnbull, a player like McGregor rests in match Rogic, because he is a very, very, very good footballer, and hopefully he's going to be able to make a real impact on Scottish football. And I think it's a blessing that he didn't do so well in the Championship all those few years ago, because he seems like a player who can very much so learn from his mistakes. And I think that the best quality of a footballer is someone who can learn from his mistakes and take on constructive criticism. Plus, it's more squad depth, and squad depth is never a bad thing, because right now Celtic are lacking it completely, which we all know. But that is all from me. So leave in the comments below who you are most excited to see in the squad. And no, let me rephrase that. Who are you most excited to see join the squad from Japan? Personally, for me, it's Dias and Maeda, but you guys might have a different opinion to that. Remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and until next time, hail, hail.